So as you guys know, I'm from Puerto Rico, and the other day a massacre just happened, and a Colombian named by the name JBalvin got pretty much destroyed in a lyrical battle in which his name was dragged in the mud and completely humiliated. Hi guys, as you can tell, I'm a little bit sick. I'm not in the best shape. I wish I was. And today I'm going to talk about urban music's problem. And one of the things that not only urban music, but music in general have encountered. Back in the day when you used to be a singer, you had to sing your own lyrics. And many of the singers were songwriters, right? They will sit down with one or two songwriters and they will create their own songs and put them out for the public to enjoy. Nowadays, with urban music and hip hop and trap and even pop, you see the lack of, effort from pop artists nowadays to tell a story, to tell, like, for example, back in the day in 1987, Michael Jackson did the song Smooth Criminal. The song was about a criminal, that murdered Annie. And people found Annie and they're asking Annie if she is okay. Then the song tells a story about this criminal and how smooth he was as doing his criminal activity. There's another song in Latin America called Pedro Navaja by Rubén Blades, or in English, Ruben Blades. And in that song, he talks about, an individual that was called Pedro Navaja, or Pedro the Knife. And he is relating a story of how life can be so uncertain sometimes. You think you're living it or having it bad. There's always something that can happen that could be completely worse. In the song, he says that there's this woman who was barely making ends meet. She was struggling with her money. She puts her gun in her purse just to protect herself. It was the 70s. New York was very dangerous back then. So she walks down the street and Pedro Navaja, thinking that this woman is actually making good money, puts a knife in her stomach, and the lady shoots the gun in her purse. So they both die and nobody cares. The police don't come. People walk around them and they don't give a shit. This is the sort of story that many songs used to tell back in the day. Now, you have songs about sex and violence most of the time, but mostly sex. And the creativity is not there. So the other day, Residente, which is a Puerto Rican rapper, made a diss track to JBalvin for some of those reasons. The first thing that he says is that everybody knows that he doesn't write his own songs. He doesn't have the talent for it. So he gets angry at him because he takes all the credit for the songs that he doesn't write. And many other things he says in this video. And to be completely honest, I miss that part of songs, the storytelling part. I think one of the few that I saw doing that still was Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift back in the day used to tell stories in her songs, like the song Love Story. It's even in the title, Love Story. And artists have lost that talent, that finesse. And what I see is that many artists still have it. Like Residente has one of the best songs for Latin American people ever, which is called Latin America. And it's one of those songs that were translated into different languages so that people could understand who we are as a people. We not all live in the same country. We don't have the same problems many times, but we share a lot. And he made that song so powerful. Then he made a song about himself and being depressed and how it was so hard for him and how life was miserable. One of the things he said in an interview the other day that I saw yesterday in Molusco TV, you can check it out if you know Spanish, is that to him, JBalvin is out of touch with the reality of everyday human beings. He said that when he made the song René, the song about himself, he didn't talk about the millions he had. He didn't talk about how he was going to cry in a Ferrari or stuff like that. He was talking about how many times he will tour the world and feel like he just wanted to stay back in his hometown when he was a little kid, when the sun came through the window and it was so hot that you couldn't sleep and you sweat through the night, that he rather have those times back than be in the position that he's in right now. That many times all he wishes he could call his old house and see who will respond to him. This is what Residente is talking about. And he criticized JBalvin for making a song of oh my God, I'm going to cry in this Ferrari and my millions of dollars, and I'm going to cry about this, and I'm so depressed. When he says many people don't have a Ferrari, don't have the money. So you cannot cry in a Ferrari if you don't have a Ferrari. So you cannot relate to the lyrics that much because you're not JBalvin. And René was more of a, yeah, I am famous, but hell, I miss poverty sometimes because life was so much simpler. In that very same interview, he talks about how literally he's so busy that he doesn't have time. You know, he has to make time for his son, and he's doing so many things like writing music for his new album, writing 2 movies that he's trying to make. And he, in that song, describes how he sometimes wishes that he didn't have to do all that, that he could just live a normal Puerto Rican's life. And that's why his music resonates more with a normal, typical Puerto Rican than JBalvin or somebody else. He also explained in that interview that he admires Bad Bunny because even though Bad Bunny has the same lifestyle that JBalvin has, Bad Bunny is a lot more humble. He is willing to work harder than anybody in the room, and that he is surrounding himself with good people that will lead him in a good path. And Residente then proceeded to talk why he hated JBalvin's ass. So this also comes about a boycott to the Grammys. JBalvin, because he was only nominated once, wanted to boycott the Grammys, saying that Latin music wasn't being represented as much as he would like to, the Latin Grammys we're talking about. And that wasn't true because Residente proceeded to establish all the urban artists that were actually nominated in that Grammy Academy Award. And he's like, first of all, you're lying through your teeth. The reason you're not getting nominated more is because you make music for children. If you made food for a restaurant, then fine, people will pay for it. But you're making hot dogs and expecting people to pay for a restaurant price. So JBalvin said, okay, I completely disagree. He responded in a tweet, but I get it. I respect your opinion. After that, they have a conversation. He cries to Residente, supposedly. So Residente is like, okay, if you're not going to boycott the Grammys, which is going to be held in honor of one of the biggest artists in Latin American history, Ruben Blades, then I'll take down the video. JBalvin said, please, I'll do it. Take down the video. So Residente takes down the video. One day later, he tells Molusco that he literally got played because the next day, JBalvin's taking a photo of himself in a hot dog stand trying to outsmart what Residente said. In reality, Residente said, let's bury the hatchet by deleting the video in the comments and let's leave it at that. JBalvin, saying yes to that, went behind Residente's back, called him, posted that tweet, called him and said, and you know what? I'm going to make money out of the hot dog. And there's where you see the moral values. If you say to somebody, I'm going to do this, do it. You know, if you have a beef with somebody and that somebody is being respectful enough to say, okay, I'll do this, I'll remove that, and I'll do that. And then all of a sudden, that other person goes back on his word and does something against you completely behind your back. Or right in front of you, like JBalvin did to Residente, then you have to understand that consequences are going to come. The next thing JBalvin did was make merchandise with a hot dog and his name on it. Again, smart merchandising technique. He used the heat that Residente threw at him against him. But if there's one thing every reggaetonero, every urban artist in the Hispanic world knows is you don't mess with Residente. Messing with Residente equals messing with Eminem in the English hip hop, world. You mess with Residente, your career can be in jeopardy, pretty much. So, Residente waits and waits. And then he gets contacted by this kid, Bizarrap. And Bizarrap is, do what you want. We're going to record this. No problem. Let's work it out together. JBalvin hears that he's going to make a diss track out of him. About him. He tries to stop him. He tries to threaten to sue Residente. He tries to stop Bizarrap from posting the video. He contacts the president of his, of Sony, which is the, the recording artist contract is with Sony. They contact the president to try to have Residente stop from producing this diss track. And Residente is like, it's only a diss track. The only way you can respond is not by suing me. Normally, you just respond with a song. So you're being a coward. Even through all of that, Residente decided to do the diss track. So, I'm gonna translate. I'm gonna put parts of the track and I'm gonna try to translate in English, okay? JBalvin fans, I'm sorry, guys. Your boy just got killed. Let's play it. Let's see, the volume is all the way down. Okay, let's go.
Cabrón, pero si le tiras a Balvin, puede ser que me guste.
No, a Balvin no, cabrón, es un bolón ese cabrón.
So he's saying he's an idiot. JBalvin's an idiot.
Bueno, dale.
Voy a rebajarme con un bobolón que le canta a SpongeBob y a Pokémon.
I'm gonna lower myself to a stupid idiot that sings to SpongeBob and Pokemon.
La copia de un clon, el Logan Paul del reggaetón.
The copy of a clone, the Logan Paul of reggaeton.
Esto es más bajo que eyacular sin erección, como le dicen.
This is lower than ejaculating without an erection.
Por ahí,
Oyecito, no tienes calle, por eso tienes los nudillos blanditos.
con solo un video entierro a este becerro y lo pongo a subir fotos con su perro.
With just this video, I'll bury this asshole and I'll put him to take photos with his dog.
Este cobarde corderito mancebo es como un desayuno vegano sin huevo. El pueblo luchando los están matando y el tipo sube fotos de Gandhi rezando.
His people are being killed, and this guy is posting photos of Gandhi praying.
Pendejo mentiroso, se hace el espiritual usando la salud mental para vender un documental. Tú eres más falso que un hot dog sin ketchup ni pan.
So he's saying that he's trying to make himself an spiritual person, but he's a liar. And that he's a bigger liar than having a hot dog without bread or ketchup.
Más falso que los abdominales de Luyan. Es tan inseguro el pana que tiene que estar anunciando por Instagram cuánta lana gana.
He's so insecure that he has to keep announcing to the world how much money he makes.
No entiende los valores de la vida. Se tiene que tatuar la palabra lealtad porque se le olvida.
He has to tattoo the word loyalty because he forgets it.
Un imbécil con tinte de cabello que puso a mujeres negras con cadena de perro en el...
And this is where it gets dark. JBalvin made a video. I don't remember the name of the video. Somebody in the comments can post the name of the video. But he puts two black women in bikinis on chains while holding them himself. So Residente here is calling that out, how very insensible that is and very cringe-worthy, to the point that YouTube removed the video from their servers.
El cuello, un blanquito que perdió el camino, todo un divino aceptando su premio de afrolatino. Un día digo que quiso hacer reggaetón siendo franco.
So he's calling him out because he accepted award of a Afro-Latino award while still saying one day that he wanted to make reggaeton or urban music being a white boy because he found out that Daddy Yankee was white.
Al descubrir que Daddy Yankee era blanco, mi llave. Lo peor de todo y lo más grave es que este pendejo es racista y no lo sabe.
In other words, JBalvin, Residente says, is a racist and he doesn't even know it.
La historia te va a dar un bofetón en nombre de todos los que bajo abuso recogieron algodón y otro bofetón en nombre de todos los que han tenido que batallar doble dentro del reggaetón.
So he's saying that history will give him a slap in the face. All those who had to pick up cotton will give him a slap in the face. And all of those that had to work harder than anybody else in reggaeton are gonna also give him a slap in the face. And then he goes on to mention a few names.
Mike Tower, Sex Shop, Down, Rafa Pavón, Don Omar, Ozuna, Arcángel, Tego Calderón, son un montón que sin pensar metes debajo del cajón. En tu arcoíris de colores no existe el color marrón.
In his rainbow of colors, of JBalvin's colors, there's no room for the brown color. And this is where it got really intense, because if you think about it, Residente is calling JBalvin a racist. Whether that's true or not, the fact that he made a video like that in 20-something, in the 20s, you have to be an idiot to do that. And he did it, and now he's getting roasted for it. So, yeah.
Un sacrilegio, este blanquito de colegio todavía no entiende el fucking privilegio, pero ¿qué esperan de este fracasado? Criado por su papá, un influencer frustrado, en Puerto Rico pa' que se la dieran en el reggaetón, tragó más leche que un condón.
So he's saying that the only way he made it in Puerto Rico as a reggaeton artist is because he had to suck a lot. And this is when you know, in English, it may not look like an insult because, you know, when you translate a Spanish song into English, it doesn't have the same impact pretty much. But if you understand Spanish, like I do, you understand this guy destroyed JBalvin's career in just one song. And to end this debate once and for all, I think Residente did overkill JBalvin. But we all know that you don't mess with Residente lyrically. This is the guy that destroyed one of Puerto Rico's most famous artists from the OG old school, Tempo. And he proceeded to destroy him in 2 tracks that Tempo couldn't respond back to him. This is the same guy that understands lyrical fluency and studies, you know, writes for fun. You know, in his chorus, you can start seeing it. Like right here. So this is what he's saying with that last lyric. I'm doing this just to have fun. Imagine if this guy was actually serious. So this is what happened with JBalvin and Residente. I think JBalvin will not be able to respond. I don't think he'll be able to have the talent enough to defend himself. If it was Bad Bunny, yeah, Bad Bunny would have been able to respond. But Bad Bunny admires Residente to the point that they're best friends. And Residente loves him because, you know, he sees a lot of himself when he was younger in Benito. But to all you JBalvin fans out there, you don't mess with Residente. That's one thing that we all should have known. All you that bought the hot dot t-shirts and all that merchandise, you probably are regretting it now. So think about your choices. I don't think JBalvin is a bad artist. I don't think him not singing his own lyrics is not a bad thing. But at the same time, you don't mess with Residente. Normally, when we say that, you know, a white artist has to go through African-American, you know, hip-hop culture to be accepted, we say the same with reggaeton. To be accepted into the reggaeton big sphere, you have to go to through Puerto Rico, because Puerto Rico is the mecca of reggaeton. And if one of the biggest artists in Puerto Rico's urban music past is telling you, I don't accept you, that's a big thing. That's if Daddy Yankee, Tego Calderon, Don Omar, or like, I don't know, Residente tell you you're not going to cut it, that's a big deal. everybody knows this. Maluma, JBalvin, all those artists that are not Puerto Rican, they know to make it in reggaeton, you have to make it in Puerto Rico. And unfortunately, JBalvin tipped off the wrong person. That's it for the video, guys. Thank you for watching. I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.